Hill, about 250 to 270 are all civilians, either DA civilians, Department of the Army civilians, or contractors. So we're the only two green suiters that work there. And our workforce is spread out between everywhere. There's, Chris here is my PAO. He lives 2 minutes away in Bowling Green. And some of the workforce has worked there for 20, 30 years. Other people are new, but they're spread out between Fredericksburg, some as far north as maybe Stafford, and then all the way down the 95 corridor into Richmond. So we're kind of dispersed all over the place, but about 250 to 275 employees. The actual military members that you see at A.P Hill are what we call transients. So some of them, a lot of them will come from the cities and towns that border in Virginia and Maryland, and some of them will come from several states over. They'll do an airborne exercise, jump in, do a week's worth of collective training, and then drive home. So it's kind of a mixture of local, National Guard Reserve, and then active duty components will come up from places like Fort Bragg or Fort Campbell in Kentucky. So during COVID, over the last couple of years, we kind of prided ourselves on maintaining that ability to train that transient population. So we stayed open as best we could. And I don't think we ever actually had to turn anybody away. And we've returned to normal with very, very few exceptions. I think just the last couple weeks ago, we transitioned back to health protection condition alpha, where we were at Bravo and Charlotte for the last couple of years, which limited the number of trainees that we could have on our posts at any given time. So we're with very few exceptions, all the way back to normal, and we hope to stay that way. So some of you have seen in the news probably the base, the Military Commission on Renaming, that identifies bases primarily, but also artifacts and things that are associated with the Confederacy. That was a directed task by Congress. The Naming Commission is, the report is in, and the Secretary of Defense has accepted all of the recommendations. So Fort A.P Hill will be renamed Fort Walker after Dr. Mary Walker, who was a civilian doctor throughout the course of the Civil War, who aided both sides, and is the only female to win the Medal of Honor, or be awarded the Medal of Honor, excuse me. So the base will be renamed after Dr. Walker. Sometime, I want to say, to be safe, sometime this fiscal year, so before the end of the year, but I think it will happen sometime in the next couple of months. We're waiting on a higher decision, I guess we will be told that it's going to happen sooner. So by the end of the year, you will not hear reference to A.P Hill anymore. It will be called Fort Walker. And then lastly, just to talk quickly about local partnerships, we've got a huge environmental section, so 76,000 acres, of which probably 74,000 acres are all woods, or training areas, but largely woods. So we have a huge environmental section on A.P Hill, and we do a lot of work in conjunction with the state of Virginia and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. To that end, the garrison was awarded the 2022 Northeast Regional Military Conservation Partner Award by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service a few months ago. So that was a big deal for our team there, because they put a lot of effort into it, and we're deeply committed. We work a lot with Caroline County as well to kind of protect the outside of the base and the inside. We also actively partner with Fredericksburg Parks and Rec to support their upcoming Earth Day events. Again, that's primarily through our environmental division there. And then we participate in pretty much all the Caroline County public schools when asked on career days, environmental days, science fairs, and things like that. I got a bunch of other examples, but for the sake of time, I'll make up for Colonel Brooks. We have a lot of other partnerships, but the safety, we primarily use our safety office, our Director of Emergency Services, so police, fire, again, primarily with Caroline County, but a little bit, I think, with Spotsylvania County, and then, of course, our environmental division. So if anybody in this room has any ideas on how we can further our partnership, I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but the Know Your Army initiative is kind of out right now. I think everybody's probably heard that recruiting is kind of at a low point, so a low point for the last 20 years. And so We are looking to grow our community partnerships, to get the word out about what we do at A.P Hill. Even though it's just me and the sergeant major wearing the green suit, all 250 to 275 civilians support the day-to-day functions of training our nation's military so we can fight and win wars. So